I wake up in a suburb of all places, like it's some shitty nightmare. A neighborhood full of trigger-happy retired policemen, saggy middle-aged soccer moms, and really angry, leg-biting, ass-munching pet pooches. Oh, and my TV isn't working. And that, my dear friend, is only the beginning. So, this is my story.
Yo, what's cracking? This is Little Lore, the Gamer Fool. Watch this video, and if you like it, then maybe consider subscribing. Postal Brain Damage is a first-person shooter based on the classic game series, Postal. The Postal series is developed by Running with Scissors, aside from Postal 3, which is a game nobody wants to speak of. Brain Damage is an action shooter spin-off with retro graphics, fast-paced modern gameplay as stated in the description on Steam. This game is developed by Hyperstrange and Creative Forge Games. I'm not sure what role each studio plays in the development process though. This game was released on June 9th, 2022, so I'm a little late with the video as I just opened up my channel. But with that being said, let's take a dive into the twisted mind of the Postal dude.
Oh, what the shit?
The color scheme to this game is bright with a variety of colors popping out of your screen. I find it very appealing to look at. The lower polygon retro aesthetic to this game is also appealing, at least for someone who appreciates retro games and finds the lower poly look pleasing. And plenty do, as this game has an overwhelmingly positive rating on Steam. After waking up in a dreamland suburban neighborhood, Postal Dude is on the hunt for his TV to defeat the pandemic and to defeat himself. That's pretty much the story. There are 3 episodes with 5 levels per episode, focusing on each of these goals, and a boss for the final level for each episode. Nothing really connects these episodes together, besides trying to catch the Postal Dude's doppelganger that stole his TV.
Beep beep. Where are you going with that?
I see these as 3 separate dreams, focusing on each goal in 1 night of sleep. The levels are linear, but are pretty open-ended. The first level, you can explore most of these houses and find extra supplies and enemies. Or you can ignore all that shit and keep walking down the road to where the game wants you to go to progress.
What am I supposed to do?
Or the Mexico border level. You can explore these different paths and find loot and extra enemies to kill.
Those moronic developers thought they could hide this from me?
But it will eventually funnel you back to the main path to keep you progressing. You can also miss all those areas and still progress. There are hidden secret areas you will find, posters to collect that show the character models and weapon models.
Those moronic developers thought they could hide this from me?
And other in-game shit. Sometimes you may need to find a key to unlock a certain door, or push a certain button to progress, or piss on something.
Where do I go now? Probably that door that went open.
Whether it be a urinal or an open circuit box, but it's not always straightforward, and I had a hard time figuring some of these out. Like, I didn't see this urinal above, and when I did, I didn't know it was a urinal, so I didn't know I was supposed to piss in it. But eventually I figured it out after a while. This time, I forgot I can drink from this flaming fountain and have fire piss to burn down this bush blocking my path, because the tutorial for this was in the first few levels of the game, and this was the first time I had come across a flaming fountain, so I completely forgot this was even a mechanic. Now, you do have items in your inventory that you can drink to get the same effect, which I will talk more about later, but this was really the first time it was required to progress, so I was lost for a bit. Overall, I enjoyed the levels and the little bit of open-endedness to the game. This is kind of a fast-paced shooter. You don't really have any special movement options besides the slide. Now, you can slide jump.
Beep beep. Hey, where you going with that?
That is my primary way of getting around, slide jumping indefinitely with no repercussions. There is a grapple hook, but I'll talk about that when I get to the weapons. There's a lot of pop culture references in the game ripping on shit that have happened since the pandemic. Like, I remember at the start of the pandemic, everyone bought all the tissue in every store. Yeah, well, we found who bought it all.
This is where all the tissue went.
Or the stereotypical people that live in suburban neighborhoods as stated in this description. There's a lot of fat jokes. There's an entire level and enemy type referencing when Trump built the wall bordering Mexico and the US. Here are some of the enemies from that level. There's an enemy type referencing the virus itself from the pandemic, named Lil Ronnie. We got a whole boss fight to where the dude has to kill the big bad Rona. And it's just one massive corona spore.
He's bad shit. You got it right.
Big bad Rona.
Level is centered around E3, except it's now called F4.
Just gonna pull a Shrek. Alright, that's not Shrek, but still.
And it's run by Elon Musk, except his name is now Leon Dust.
Straight to heaven.
And he's come with his Transformer Power Ranger T-800 robot, and he's an asshole. We got some references in the main menu in the opening cutscene. We got House of Death, as of what I'm assuming, House of the Dead, Fart Cries, obviously Far Cry.
In the name of the kink instant classic, House of Death? Fuck yeah. Fart cries? Boom. Headshot. But, fuck. There's something really, really wrong here.
We got an Easter egg to Postal 3. When I shoot these signs with the pussy blower and vacuum the cat back, it somehow came from the roof. Just funny, pointless mention here. Break these desks, cause fuck Postal 3. And apparently the devs think so too, as they have it in the toilet. The kick don't do a ton of damage, but you can kick enemies or pedestrians off cliffs. And that's always a good time. You can also slide kick.
Ah, I should just go
as well as, if timed right, kick any projectile back at an enemy. The kick has to be timed right at the right moment. So in the middle of an arena battle, I doubt anyone but the most skilled will be trying to time kicks to deflect projectiles at an enemy. But if you can manage it, it can be useful. I actually forgot I can do this, so I didn't use it very much. You can piss on anyone. You can piss in their face to stun enemies. You can piss liquid fire and burn them alive. And as I mentioned earlier, you'll need your fire piss to get through certain areas. You'll also need your fire piss to piss on certain electrical boxes to progress as well. You can also chug a bottle of liquid nitrogen to piss nitrogen to freeze your enemies in place to then obliterate their frozen bodies.
Nothing.
If you chug a bottle of suspicious moonshine, you can then piss onto enemies to make them hostile to anyone around them, including other enemies and pastile people.
Chemtrail. Black chopper.
The shovel is the crowbar of Postal, except this shovel is also a chainsaw. So not only can you whack and slash with it, you can also rev it up and saw through your foes. I like it and it's fun to use.
Is this gun smarter than me?
The name of this pistol is the not-so-smart pistol MK420. It works as needed and is good for shooting enemies further away, but just like the dual pistols from Turbo Overkill, it has a split function. And like Turbo Overkill, it tags multiple enemies, but does not kill each enemy in one shot. It will still take the same number of shots to kill said enemy. The Super Hooker shotgun is a double barrel that obliterates enemies.
What do you think? That didn't turn out so well for you now, did it?
And the secondary function is a grapple hook that lets you grapple onto enemies to get a barrel to the face shot, and it's a ton of fun. You can also grapple onto these floating circles, swinging around like Spider-Man.
Doc, I keep seeing mutilated corpses.
The Brainfucker Gun 69000 is a weapon that shoots electricity. Because it shoots a continuous beam of electricity, I find it easier to hit hard to hit enemies. You know the type.
And now, Electric Boogie.
The secondary function, as you can see in the description here, sends forth an electric ghost brain that fries nearby enemies on its way. It does strong damage to any nearby enemy.
Everywhere.
The Nail Biter is a semi-automatic rifle.
Oh, you fucking asswipe.
But taking a page from Fear here, and lets you nail enemies to the walls. The secondary function launches a time bomb, which stops time in its explosion radius. While enemies are stuck in time, you can do as much damage as you want to those enemies, and when the time bomb expires, they will take the effects of the damage you gave them. So if you don't deal enough damage by the time the time bomb releases them, they will take that damage but still be alive and start attacking you as normal. The Penetrator shoots dicks.
I shoot dicks for a living.
And not nobody else's, unless you aim for the dick. This bow uses dildos as arrows. It functions as your sniper. No split function here, aside from being able to aim down sights, as you would with the sniper. Gun goes burr.
Oh.
Stakataka.
That is the name of the minigun, and it functions as you would expect, shredding through all enemies. With the short wind-up and shredding power, it works like a champ. The split function is to attach a tracker to an enemy or surface. While the tracker is active, the bullets will follow it automatically. Holier than thou launcher.
Praise the Lord and pass the grenades. Look, you did this.
Is your rocket launcher mixed with the grenade launcher and holy grenades. As the game states, this mean bitch won't blow you, but will sure blow up some baddies with some holier than thou attitude. The split function sends out a holy grenade which does massive damage. It also explodes on impact. It has a mechanic while you hold down the button while this circle fills up to whatever percentage you want, but I'm not sure what holding it does exactly. I assume for an even higher amount of damage, but I'm not for sure. Pussy blower.
Beep beep. Where you going with that? Now I have a ton of pussy.
It's a leaf blower that blows a lot of pussy. Blow sticky pussy at the walls. Blow sticky pussy at your enemies. And suck pussy back to really hit them with the pussy. You'll never run out of pussy because you always suck all the pussy back up. This weapon is pretty overpowered and I love it. Postal people are really just used to gain extra armor and health when you kill them, but it's also fun just to terrorize them like you would in Postal 2 and 4. There's quite a bit of different enemies here, so I'll just name a few I like. Veterans have a shotgun and walk slowly. Their shots do decent damage, but are easy to kill. Burger Boy hovers in the air by the use of his little helicopter cap and throws hamburgers at you, which deal damage.
Awesome.
But you can also eat and drink his hamburger and drink to gain a small portion of health. I like to grapple onto these guys and give them a shotgun blast to the face. The description to this made me laugh a little. Dumb old joke that's been used too many times but still got a laugh out of me. Also, he pulls these burgers out of his ass. So, ass burgers? Mr. 2 is a miniature tank and orchestra in one. Does pretty heavy damage, but can be taken down with a mag dumper too. The Goliath does heavy damage if you don't avoid his attack in time. He charges in a straight line to where you were before he started his charge. You can dodge him in time, but when going up against multiple in a cramped area, that can be a little hard. He's an assortment of limbs thrown into a cage. Crawler is a girl tied up in a leather suit.
What the fuck?
Moves like a caterpillar and uses her tits to inch forward, as you can see in this animation. She's inspired by H.R. Giger's Alien, and shoots its tongue in a similar fashion to attack.
Maybe below average, but man, he's fierce.
This is Nurse Joy, and she has the ability to bring the dead back to life. So you need to get rid of her before she has the chance to do that. She also has a gun that she can fire at you with. G-Man Lives said these guys are a reference to Siren Head. And yeah, they do look similar, so no contest to that. They have the ability to make the enemies around them go berserk and deal more damage. They also can slowly swipe at you, that does heavy damage, but it's so slow that you can dodge it easily.
Double the pleasure. Time to polish them nails.
Are a pain to deal with. The Illuminati is their name, and they charge a beam that deals massive damage because it's a constant beam and can hit long ranges. When there's multiple, it's pretty hard to deal with. Probably the most annoying and difficult enemy in the game for me, along with Lil Ronnie's, another enemy type that I mentioned earlier. So I like the level transitions, and that shows us what levels we've completed so far and what level we're going to next. Just a cool little detail. In the end, it's a fun shooter that can be classified as a boomer shooter, with some arena battles, constant weapon swapping to overcome the situation that the dude finds himself dreaming of, with some toilet humor, fart jokes, and some sexual fetish jokes in the form of this H.R. Giger inspired design with a mouth that has a mouth, similar to the Xenomorph. And another alien reference is this guy here, almost being literally a Xenomorph. So if this video has piqued the interest of the few that may be interested but haven't heard of it, then you should go and play it right now.
Mechanical diving sound.
See, dude, you cannot beat me. And you know why? Because I can't be destroyed. I can't be erased.
What the?
Yes, I cannot be vanquished. Every time you kill me, I become stronger. I am you and you are me. I'm like a fucking Jungian persona, a cancer at the back of the head, the demon that won't let you sleep at night.
No way.
Yes, way, all that time. I was playing with myself. You too. You see, you cannot cancel me. Whenever you try to forget about me or just dismiss my existence, I grow stronger, mightier. We've had this conversation many, many times, and each time I only grow stronger. There will be no escape, no salvation, no
Never thought that would work. Who thought destroying a part of my easy could be so brain? Although, fuck, now I can't remember my childhood potty training. Still a little bit low-key. Wait just a sec. Well, there can only be one ending to this story. The fuck? Who peed all over my couch?